Grand Slam track, Jamaica, are they? I mean, after everything we saw, I mean, should Jamaica be a destination for the future?
In my opinion, they should. In my opinion, they should. And this may go to just one other point of like growth or opportunity. They will probably need to do a little more like kind of ground promotion. That's something I heard from a lot of fans who were there, where it's like they didn't. It seems like they didn't tap in locally with like to be able to promote the meet as much as they should. But I think that's maybe an easy fix, not an easy fix, but something they could do for next year. But I think you can't leave Jamaica because there's too many top stars. And yes, talking about the sprints. All due respect, shout out to the distance side as well. But like, if we're talking about some of the big stars in track and field right now, there's a reason that Jamaica is one of the top countries, right? There's a lot of fans, there's a lot of athletes, and that is part of how we expand the sport. So I think having it in Kingston, Jamaica is super, super important to be able for another year, going into the future to make sure you can bring in those fans, bring in those big stars, and further promote the sport, at least a little bit. So I think they should. I think they should.
I mean, I don't take away from all that. I just see that there are complexities that need to be overcome because when it comes to, the product that comes out, again, everything from broadcast perspective, we just see empty seats on one end, for example.
That's true.
And things like that. So I like, like the optics of like how, because fans don't care about the narrative. They just care about what they see. So I think you said like the momentum can be built upon, but at the same time, I mean, this is again, maybe I'm shallow or misunderstanding the equation. The way I understand it to some degree is that when I see a bunch of Jamaicans running at Miramar, for a lot of reasons, on the same weekend.
Yeah.
It's confusing for me to unfeel like when you tell me that like it's valued, it's like maybe the community valued it more than the athletes did. And by athletes, I mean the athletes and their teams, because I get it. Athletes have agents and athletes have coaches, and there's a lot of other people in the machine. So I don't want the community to beat up on athletes. However, Grand Slam is doing something brand new in terms of just shift the focus. And that's always the conversation here. Can we shift the focus? We can do worlds. I'm not opposed to worlds. I'm not anti-worlds. I'm just going to keep filling people in. No one cares. The like you're not going to grow the sport from that. It's just not going to happen. It's just not a viable product. As long as college kids are running and high school kids are running, yes, high school kids are running at worlds. High school kids are running at the Olympics who go to college and lose.
Yep.
We're talking about high school kids who can go to college and not make a final in the SEC.
So true.
The same kids are running in the Olympics, going into repechage rounds, trying to get into semifinals. That's the product. So people don't know, but that's the product. I'm not saying that the people at the top aren't special, but no, you're not actually watching the fastest people. I want to be able to eventually get to a point where I can see a 100-meter final where everyone who's in this final is because if you're a pro, you had a chance to earn your way here by beating people.
Yep.
And these are the last 8 men standing. Because the only way you're on this line is because you are the fastest. So when we give out a crown, the Olympic gold medal is one thing, but it's not that.
Yeah.
Like this is, we don't care where you're from, what country, like none of that matters. We just set up the structure where if you go fast enough, if you prove yourself, if you can beat people, eventually you'll get your shot. However you got to qualify through is how you got to qualify through, but it all crescendoed at the same moment. And that's something we haven't seen yet.
I mean, we literally saw, but just the point on Miramar is like, we literally saw, or I watched on YouTube, I saw Sharika Jackson on a relay running by herself. And I'm not talking about by herself because she was in front of every single other person. I'm talking about she had no one else on the track. There were no other teams. This is the 200-meter double world champion, second fastest woman in history, one of the Jamaican stars who was running by herself, no other competitors, with very few people in the stands. Like, clearly that, the contrast between Grand Slam and Miramar was like night and day. So that was crazy. But it does speak to, though, again, being in the stadium, the Jamaican fans really did love the competition. They loved the energy, especially on Saturday and Sunday. And I heard from the fans where it's like Jamaica doesn't have these massive meets all the time. They have like these one-off competitions like Racers Grand Prix. They have like this Jamaican Invitational, and of course they have their national championships. But they don't see Gabby Thomas running in Jamaica. They don't see Sidney McLauglin-Levrone running in Jamaica, or Kenny Benaric. They don't see them very often. So seeing them come to Jamaica and actually win and put down some really great performances, depending on their event, all things considered, fans actually love that in Kingston, Jamaica. That was big. I can tell you right now that Jamaicans really know how to, bring some energy for the meet. Now, it's interesting where, like you said, Kingston being the first one in Jamaica, there was like high expectations for this meet to really go off. I don't know if flawlessly is a word, but like really, really well. And on the first day, I've said it in previous videos where it was like the first day, even before the thing started, I was a little nervous because the crowds were kind of like, the seats were empty. And my thinking was like, okay, Jamaicans come out. And yeah, I'd been there for a full week where I was at Champs and the stadium was completely full. So, we saw the marketing for Grand Slam heading into it. I had seen the stadium kind of full, beforehand. Wasn't really full when we got there and when things kicked off. But as the meet kind of went on, as the weekend went on from Friday to Saturday to Sunday, seats filled up, the energy was there, and like I think the athletes showed up for a high quality competition. It truly did feel like, okay, this is something big. This is something like, it felt kind of important. It felt really special. Like, okay, this is Grand Slam track. Again, it took a little bit to kind of warm up, but being there, speaking with the athletes, speaking with the fans, there was an energy coming out of it that was like, wow, okay, this is something special. And this actually seems like it's working. Now, there's a lot of things to work out that, we'll be talking about not only like now, but also probably into the future. But like, there's some things that need to be worked out. But I feel like something special really did go down. And I think overall it was a pretty good success. From my vantage point in the stadium, like, the viewing was great. The engagement with like the fans loved how much, they felt like, okay, they're actually engaging with us. They kept them entertained all throughout. Again, I've been to a bunch of track meets, and track meets do things very well, but this is a 3-day meet. Fans really felt, very engaged, and they kind of did transform the Kingston Stadium as well, where they put up, those sliding cameras, that they usually don't have, in Jamaica. So the production quality was actually very good. At least in the stadium. And I've heard good things about the broadcast as well. But
No, again, the broadcast was top notch. I mean, I think it was Noah Williams who said it, that like you almost got like a NFL, Monday night vibe mixed with a little bit of PGA Tour. Like kind of like creating something like a cocktail for track. It felt like, the sport was being dignified and respected from a competitive standpoint.
So I don't know. We'll see if it's able to. I'm optimistic after this first one. I think that they should return to Kingston, but there's a ton of things that need to be worked out. But overall, I would say the first one, a success.
Oh, yeah.
My name is Anderson from The Final Leg.
And I'm Coach Rob from SCA Track and Field. And thank you for watching this segment from The Finish Line.
If you want to know what's really going on at the high school and college level, be sure to subscribe to Coach Rob Track and Field.
And if you want more content on the best track and field athletes in the world, be sure to subscribe to The Final Leg.